creature. The black man evolved from the ape in Africa. There was nobody on this planet but African people. As African people left this country, left Africa, going into Europe and being there for over 10,000 years, they started to evolve. They started to lose their melanin. Here's one example. If you know anything about Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, what does this say, Lincoln? What does that say?
Your hand is in the way. It said group may have left Africa 100,000 years ago.
That's right. When they left Africa, they went into Europe, they went into Asia. Based on the natural climate, over thousands of years, the black man started to lose his melanin in Europe. He didn't need that kinky hair. He didn't need that black skin. He didn't need that broad nose to suck up the hot air that he sucked up when he was in Africa. As he went into Europe, he became the Cro-Magnon man, eventually evolving into the Neanderthal, creating the European.
Okay.
This is what happened also in Asia and other parts. This is where you get the different ethnic groups.
We got you. All right, let's move along. Let's go to, okay.
Let me comment on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
See, first of all, all apes and chimpanzees got white skin and straight hair. The world has never found an ape or chimpanzee with an afro. All the apes and chimpanzees that the world has found had white skin and had straight hair, and they never found one with an afro. And then there's something you need to take under consideration. Even your white anthropologist, Dr. Louis Leakey, found that the oldest fossil of any man was found in Africa. This was a black man with woolly hair that was a vegetarian in Africa. Now, as far as this...
Okay, so that was the oldest. Okay, so with that man, who would that man
He
have
was
been?
a man. See, first of all, common sense would tell you if we came from apes, we would be an ape today. We would just be an... Oh, yes. How can you
You
evolve?
can't evolve.
But you would evolve in what you are.
Just like elephants didn't always look like the
But
elephants
they were
look
always
now.
elephants, though. See, if we came from apes, we would always be apes. We would just be intelligent apes that call ourselves men.
We would be primates.
But you would still be an ape. It's impossible for an ape to become a man. See, you can't do that. Even in evolution, you stay what you are.
Okay, well, why is there 98% of the DNA of an ape is just like man?
Well, it's
the
not
cell
100% though. See, that's the thing.
Let me explain
See, you can
something.
have
Let me
something.
explain.
No.
Let me explain.
It's not 100%.
Let me explain.
Now, see, his contribution to the black community is to go out and teach this monkey stuff that he learned in these institutions from these heathens that don't feed nobody, don't give nobody jobs, and the average black man don't want to stand out in the cold selling soap for a living. Who is he employing? Who is he helping?
All right.
How is he contributing to
Okay.
the welfare of
Pharaoh,
our
you
community?
can respond to him when we take a
Yeah.
break, and after we come back from break, we'll
There
give
is
Pharaoh
no
a chance to
contribution.
respond on the new 12:30 a.m. WDBZ.
Did you know that most
What is he
present
Apes DNA matches man, and what about the other 2%, Pharaoh?
As man started to eat meat and think on a higher level, it caused his brain to grow. You know, apes, they basically are, vegetarians. The man started eating meat, and he started functioning on a higher level, thinking as well as reasoning, because his brain caused his brain to grow larger. This accounts for the 2%, aside from the 98% of the cell structure of an ape and a human is the same, and we can speak, whereas
Let
the
me
ape
comment
cannot.
on that. Sir, you have apes that's been eating meat for years, and they still apes. If meat would make your brain larger, the lions would be the baddest thing on the earth. That's all they do eat is meat. This is the most ridiculous stuff
Okay.
that I heard in
He
my
makes
life.
a good point, Pharaoh.
An ape is not a primate.
Okay, so-
An ape is not a primate.
But he eats meat, sir. And your interest
It makes
was
no difference.
that
Well, I
since
guess
he
if you
no.
don't
Legitimate
start out
primates.
being a meat-eating
We're dealing with primates.
yeah,
See,
yeah.
we're not dealing with reptiles and other animals. We're dealing with
The apes,
primates.
They're accustomed to eating meat. I guess when you're eating vegetation and then you go to eating
But
meat,
Lincoln,
that might
everything
make a
that I'm
difference.
saying that what
And if you
Elesha
believe
is
that, I
talking
got a
about,
bridge in
he's
Arkansas
only
to say
giving you his
that the
opinion.
difference between
He's
us
not
and
showing
apes
any
is
scholarly
because we
material.
were a group
I
of
show the
apes.
scholarly material. What I'm talking about.
And this man is telling our listening audience that the only difference than they and apes is that we were a group of apes that started eating meat, and the meat made our brain larger.
All right.
You couldn't believe that, Lincoln.
Shakur, how you doing?
Hey, Mr. Ware, how you doing?
Oh
Yeah.
boy, it's tough. It's tough being a referee in here.
You know, that's cool. It's all good. Hey, I want to ask a question to your guest. And first, Mr. Israel, because I really, Mr. Burks, man, he said something last week when we had him on the show, and Mr. Israel called in, and Mr. Israel really couldn't finish his point, and I guess he didn't lie because he knew you were having him on the show Monday. So, Mr. Israel, just for the listening audience, Michael Burks would love people to believe that only way he can debate somebody if they are a scholar or whatnot. And I'm about to dispel this whole thing. And the same man that want to come on your show and talk all this African stuff, that whole concept is that white man concept. So, Mr. Israel, for the record, before you became a hairstylist, I'm pretty sure you was already learned or knew how to do hair. Is that right?
Yeah, see, he was bringing to the listening audience attention that you can only do something if the white man give you the credentials. And all he did, our people were engineers, agriculturists, barbers, and everything else, and he made us go to school to capitalize on our wisdom. That's all. But some people think that they are not allowed to think properly if this heathen is not the one that trained him. See, right here, which you have what they call somebody that's trained. He's not a thinker. All he's doing is transmitting what the white man has given him.
All right, Shakur.
Can I respond, Lincoln?
Yeah.
Quickly.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Israel can test to this. Now, here you have Mr. Burks on here all the time, and you know he likes to bring things out about Mr. Frederick Douglass. He likes to sometimes quote Malcolm X. He likes to sometimes quote Marcus Garvey. Let me tell you what all three of these men
Quickly.
had in common, Lincoln.
Quickly.
All of them was God-fearing men. None of them went to college, Lincoln. And as the caller that used to call your show, Reverend Al Beasley, have Malcolm X ever lost a debate for a scholar or anybody with a PhD? Go on back with that white man taking care of Lincoln. He's definitely not on the
That's all it is.
All right.
level, my brother.
Thanks, Shakur.
Okay,
You
now
want to
I'll
respond?
Brother, everything that I spoke about is the works of Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop, is the works of Dr. Yosef Ben Yakinen, is the work of Dr. John Henry Clark, is the work of Dr. Asa Hilliard, and the work of Dr. Malefi Asante. So what you're saying about what I speak about is nothing but what the white man gave me. That tells me you don't know anything about history. Because if you're going to dispute what Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop, who was a world-renowned Singularese scholar and biogeneticist, what he says about the origin of man, that I have right here, and you're going to dispute what he says and dispute what Dr. John Henry Clark says, as well as Dr. John G. Jackson, then you don't know anything about history, because I'm not speaking about what the white man said. I'm speaking about our black historian scholars.
All right.
Well, first of all, many of them got their education right from the same people that brainwashed this man. And common sense will tell you that if a man won't treat you right, he won't teach you right. And this gentleman has allowed the same man that's mistreated him to teach him. And right now, the racists in our audience, the Klansmen in our audience, they are laughing because they know they succeeded. Anytime our parents can send us to school to get an education, and we come back 4 years later talking this monkey stuff, then they have succeeded in their racism, and they have won.
Okay.